Hi, good evening, everyone. So, thank you for showing up on your Sunday nights. This is our weekly session that Smooth typically takes it as the market prep for the upcoming week. So, today, like he's feeling a bit under the weather, I will be covering up for him. It's not going to be exactly like he does it. Okay, like I know he goes really in depth, explains about a lot of economic stuff and all that. Honestly speaking, I don't have the capability for that. I'll try to keep it simple to my levels. Okay, so before we start, my favorite disclaimer, like you guys know me, my name is Moin. Okay, so anything that I mention over here or on the server or anybody else, any of the analysts does, that is not financial advice. It's purely from the perspective of learning. Full stop. Okay, we are all here to become better traders. That's the whole purpose of this server. That's what we are pushing towards. Now, today's session is going to be quite a bit different than what I typically do, what you guys are used to with me, that I take questions and I answer. Today, we'll look into more like what to expect for the upcoming week, what are our potential trades on that, and if you guys have any trades in mind, I'll be covering a few names. On top of that, if you have any names in your mind, we will be looking into those. Okay, charting those out. So that's it. Any questions before I start?
No, sir. I hear.
Thank you. And feel free to stop me anytime if you have a question or you want to express your opinion. That's the whole objective, right? That we learn together. So let's start with our usual suspects. First is pi. So if you're looking at SPY, we clearly can see like there is a huge downward move on the last trading day, Friday. Now, the key thing that you need to notice over here is SPY is coming back to a very critical level. You need, okay, 600 is a very, very critical level, not only because it's a psychological number, like we have been seeing like SPY is struggling, right, to get back above this level. Every time it comes near that, it literally fades. We had multiple instances that it's having a really hard time making a base over 600 properly and then to move onwards. But very similarly, we also notice that every time it's beaten down to these levels, SPY typically comes back. Okay, now if we are looking over here, why this area is so critical for us right now, the area between these two supports that we have. If you look right here, you can see all the way, literally from here, this initially acted as a supply zone. Right from here, it dumped. Okay, the first time basically it tried to cross 600, faded, we came back a little bit up, we faded again. Second time, we broke through, we moved over, came back down, same area, we bounced up, came back down pretty heavy, went to 590s, we went up above 600, came back down, we are we went back over. Okay, now we are pretty much coming back to the same area. And a quick thing, if you just notice, what was that sound? Just trying to show the channel right here. Okay, we got a channel here actually. Damn man, I have no idea how Smooth managed to move this thing so nicely. So we got a channel here, if you look at it. Okay, we are kind of like respecting through this channel on the last low, coming back here. And on the upside also, you can see we are constantly trying to ride it back. Okay, go back up. Now, typically, if I am breaking out of this area now, This is acting as a support for me. This 600 to 595 8.5 area. If I'm breaking out of this area, this just spells more downsides for me. Okay, what do you think? You guys think? What's the next downside level that we're looking here? Any idea? Anybody has an opinion? Come on, talk. Make it interactive.
Maybe like 5 8.
Five.
Oh,
Sorry. Okay, I didn't.
I see close to the what's this EMA? Is this the 60 or 200?
My white is 60.
Uh,
200 is
yeah.
somewhere way, way below. 200 is somewhere here.
Okay, no, so the 60,
Yeah.
that's the 590. Yes, somewhere around there.
Yeah, that's here.
590.
Yeah,
598 thereabouts.
I would say 595-ish, somewhere around
595 ish.
this area is more practical. Thanks, Chibuzo. Okay, this area is very much practical because we have a very slight minor levels here. We have your 60 EMA, or moreover, this should be actually 50 because we're looking at a daily chart. Okay, but I'm just too lazy to change it. Somewhere in this area is the next target if we're looking for puts. Okay, if you are taking a longer view, if this guy gives away, this is where you are actually looking 595-ish, coming down right over 595 to 594. And if this fails, we will most probably test this. This is to the downside. Okay. Now, when you trade, you need to have a plan for both sides of the game, right? You need to look both at the long side as well as the short side. Now, we did the downside. Let's look at the upside, what the upside can afford us. If we are coming near this demand zone, okay, from here, the supply zone which has turned into demand zone for the last few times, okay, here, here again, here, okay. If we are able to stay on this channel, break out of it, what do you guys think we should be looking at? The levels are right here for
605.
you.
605.
Very nice. Okay, I don't think you
602.
guys need me. I think I can quit. Shall I go to bed?
Don't go to bed.
Okay, right here is 605 is honestly my next target. Okay, if we break above, but most probably if we are going back up, you should be ultimately touching going through all this channel, through the tops of the channel. Okay, so that's there. So to the upside, if we reclaim 600, we will be going at least halfway of this candle. So halfway of this candle, because we lost it so heavy over here. Halfway of this candle is right around here. You see, 605. Okay, so 50% reclaim because you left a lot of liquidity here, plain and simple. So if you are going back, 605 aligns with quite a few things. Your 20 EMA on the daily is right here. Half of this bar is literally right here. Okay, so that's the critical area we are looking into for the upside. And if it rejects from 605 through somewhere in middle of this week, because Nvidia has earnings on Wednesday, exactly in the middle part of this week, if that happens, you are literally looking to test this area again. Okay, so you're looking at like both sides of the trade. Any questions over there? If not, let's move on to the next one. Same thing with NQ. Very, very similar charts if you're looking at it. Now, with NQ, we also made a all-time high earlier this week. Okay, and then we had this candle, which flushed down with significant volume. Okay, significant level of volume. Now, the SPY chart and the NQ chart are very well mirroring. Okay, these are the times it's very comfortable to trade. SPY goes in one way and NQ goes in another way. It kind of becomes difficult because then you have to bring in the IWM aspect, the small caps aspect here, which we do not have to do over here. Now, looking at it very similarly, we are already sitting on a very critical support. It actually bound, okay, braked right on the support. If you see here, it tried to go back up, okay, multiple times during the previous day. But if you look at it on a 5 minute candle, this was a massive beatdown, respecting your 9 EMA all the way downwards. Okay, a very, very strong downward movement. If it was at least touching 20 EMA in some places, you could say this guy had some hope. Okay, we are still in a very bearish market. If we are taking a very quick look at futures right now for SPY and QQQ, yeah, we moved up quite a bit, trying to make some headway. Okay, SPY moved up almost like 2 points back, roughly about 2 points back from where we closed. But you still do not have confirmation because if you look at this futures right now, they are literally consolidating at a level, okay, and trying to make through and make the next level up. It's still a struggle, and we are very, very early into the whole session. Asia has just opened up. Till now, whatever happened between 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., that was like us retail traders getting excited. Now onwards, you will start seeing the actual direction the market is going to take. The first instance will be Asia. The next instance is like Europe, which is Mr. Geo's favorite session to trade, if I'm not mistaken. And then we have the New York Open in the morning. So by that time, if you're trading SPY and QQQ, a great hint is basically to look at like what the Asian and the European markets have done. Okay, that literally sets you kind of direction for the day, and especially on a Sunday night when you are just opening up for the week. So looking at it, all I can say is like we have gapped up at the open. We tried to move high, did not manage to reach exactly from where the last proper rejection was. Now basically we are trying to fight the next rejection point, trying to break over. In no way this is bullish yet. Okay, nothing is giving the confidence that the market is bullish for tomorrow. Things might change overnight given the European session and everything. So with QQQ, for me, the most important thing tomorrow to watch is whether this level holds or this level gives away. Now, the Q moves much quicker than SPY. If this level gives away, I am literally looking at a flush right over here. Okay, that's the only thing I'm looking for. If this level holds, I need to very similarly make away like at least till halfway of this candle back up. Okay, which for me would be around 532-ish, which exactly collides also with this resistance point, which has become a resistance for me. But before you go right over there, what you need to remember is I basically have to cross a small level here at around 528. I have to cross the 530 psychological mark before I move there. So by the time I move there to middle of the week, this basically can act as a resistance for coming down back. And if I'm coming back down, you can be pretty sure this time we are going to go a little bit lower, 525-ish. If we start making our way back up, this is the next place where my target will be. If Nvidia has very good results, the market moves up accordingly. This is where I would be targeting by end of the week at least. If not, it's everyone's guess. Right here to 20 to 18. Okay, so that's my take on QQQ. Anyone else wants to chip in? Chime in? Gio, you want to add something? Okay, so if not, let's move on to our next candidate. All right. Any idea what the IWM signifies? Anyone?
Order
I'm
filled.
not so sure about this
Take a
one.
guess. You're not gonna lose money. Only I can lose money. I'm trading.
I know it's an ETF, but
It is a
I
ETF.
don't know
It's an
what.
index basically.
what-
But what does it
Is it
actually
the
reflect?
index of the Russell?
Sorry?
Is it the inverse of the Russell?
No, it is the Russell. Okay, IWM is
Okay.
Russell. Okay, so thanks, Rennie, for bringing that up. All right, it's on the inverse. So what IWM is, SPY, you can segregate in two major components. Rennie, would you mind muting your mic? You have a background noise. Thank you. Okay, SPY has two components. Okay, one is the tech-heavy sector, which is totally QQQ. Okay, which drives a significant part of SPY. The other part of SPY is
Order
made up
filled.
of like the bigger non-tech companies, which includes your mid caps, which includes not so large caps and all that. They all make up the Russell 2000 IWM. So if you look at it, IWM and QQQ, if you add those two elements, you get majority of what SPY is. Okay. Why we are very bearish right now after Friday?
You
IWM
clean
has
out, we're
been
gonna leave, we're gonna go to
staying.
Chopper's house.
If you
Go play with
have
Sammy.
if you have
We're
a
gonna go play with
background
Sammy.
noise, please mute yourself. Chris, I have to mute you here. Okay, if I'm muting someone, you still have a question, please feel free to type in the chat. Okay. Now, coming back here, why we're bullish? Just think of it, a very simple math equation. 2 plus 2 makes 4. Okay. Everyone except my 6-year-old, okay, sometimes he still quizzes me to make sure that I know that. But we all know this. 2 plus 2 makes 4. Now, if 2 plus 2 makes 4, IWM is the first two and QQQ is the second two. Now, if both of your elements are showing the same direction, usually what we see is the money rotates. Okay, like if big tech is taking a beating, usually people hedge with the small caps or the Russell. Now, over here, what you're seeing is plain and simple. Both of this is on a downturn. So no wonder the downturn trend push on SPY is so heavy because both the first two and the second two both are going in the same direction. So in no way, if they were going in opposite direction, SPY could have a chance of making a fight back. But here, both of the critical components are going. And this guy, IWM, is even in a bad situation. It's sitting on a very critical support level right now, which is your 200 EMA on the daily, which collides as well as with the previous resistance level, previous support level at 217.85. So this is literally living on life support. Let's just put it like that. If this gives away, okay, we are in for a pretty heavy flush in the small caps world. And the problem is the next level is way down, and after this you literally don't have anything for a significant part. Okay, so if this does not literally bounce from here, we are looking at some major downsides. If you're going on smaller time frames, you can say like it is simply not showing any signs of recovery, which is very alarming because the money needs to rotate. Okay, like the next two we will see, we'll have a further perspective into that. So if this thing is basically coming down even heavier, okay, then QQQ at least tried to make some recovery. That tells you like the investors have do not have any confidence right now. Now, for the upside, what I would like to say is this level, the 200 EMA is being made to a support. If that's the case, I would be looking at a minor move up to 220s right over here. Okay, we can very well retest this level, reject, and come down. That's your second point where you look shorting. That's a very confirmed point where you can, I mean, like buy puts on IWM with very high confidence. And if this does not give away, okay, we make our way back, then I would be feeling comfortable going for 225 calls, not a minute before that. If I make this a support, this is the next level I'm looking at. If I make this a support, then I'm looking at 225. But the primary perspective right now is completely towards the downside, especially on IWM. If this gives away, be very careful. Not only with this, with most of your small caps portfolio. Any questions, opinions?
If it gives away the 217 where it currently sits on,
Mm-hmm.
we'll be looking at where next.
240,
I see like a flush all the way down to
right here,
where it is
214-ish.
about, yeah.
Because you don't have
Mm.
anything to support it. You don't have literally anything to hold it.
Oh,
Okay. So the flush is gonna be pretty heavy if it flushes. And most probably this level will not hold anymore. Okay, we should be reaching the 210s right to this area. Any other questions?
Yes, Mohan, I have a question.
Sure, Bert.
So in that case, will you not look to be taking puts this week on IWM?
Absolutely. If this
IMW?
IWM, absolutely. If this gives away, very strong candidate for puts. If this level
Okay.
rejects, the 220 rejects, also puts. Look, QQQ has a hope. QQQ has a chance. Nvidia might pull it up. And with that, SPY might go up. But this guy doesn't have a Nvidia to push it up this week. Do you see like why my perspective is more bearish on this one than the other two?
Oh,
Okay. With Nvidia,
más o
we might
menos.
see an upside, but that this guy will, Nvidia will basically pull up QQQ and in turn
Afloja la
SPY.
fruta ese bar,
What was the question?
pues se siente bien, nomás que como, pues lo han dado calando, no ha fallado ahorita. A mí no han dado.
I guess that's not for me. Okay. Like with IWM, it doesn't have a Nvidia to give it that rocket boost. Okay. And so this guy literally is a more stronger candidate for a push down to the downside. Make sense?
Smooth. Will not DM.
No,
Said
makes
notice
perfect
we
sense.
are under
So
this
will
R
you
of
wait
chop on him we
until
mentioned.
NVIDIA earnings on
Value
Wednesday
area
to
high
make a
and low
move
have
on
both been
IWM,
lost.
or would you make a move before that?
Wednesday is going to be very volatile. Okay. That I can assure you
Smooth.
way more
Will not
than my
DM. Said
performance
look
in the
for a
market.
retest of 220.
Okay. Nvidia is the market is going to be very volatile this week, especially on Wednesday. Okay. More than me making profits this week, am willing to place a bet on that. Okay. I'm that confident. If you are don't feel comfortable, I think better not trade on the Wednesday at all, or at least after the first half of Wednesday. And don't keep any open positions for Thursday, especially if you're trading SPY or QQQ, those things. It simply is too much of a risk. When you have a huge player, one of the Max 7s basically coming over. Does that make sense? Earnings are a gamble, honestly.
It makes sense, Mohan. But my question is more around: will you wait until Wednesday before you take a position on IWM, or will you take a position on IWM tomorrow or Tuesday
Okay,
in lieu of what could happen on Wednesday?
okay. Now you gotta understand my mindset, right? Me, I am a momentum based trader who mainly scalps the market. Okay, very, very rare I hold any position overnight. So for me, it's a question that each day is a new day for me. Each day I will look at the chart, make a decision based on the chart
Correct.
over here. All right. What I do rather, I personally don't trade IWM. I trade SPY and QQQ. If I was trading IWM, I would be taking it in the same manner. on the daily. But if I was a different type of a trader, let's say, Bart, for a
Order
hypothetically,
filled.
let me think you are a longer term trader than me. You have a higher risk appetite. You're a longer term trader
Order
than me.
filled.
Okay, and you take this for a week out swing. You're taking it for Friday expiry. With IWM, you can be more assured that if Monday and Tuesday it is having a moment, okay, 220 rejection, okay, from here it rejects, then you are more confident on taking those for Friday expiry. Or if you want to buy, be a bit more confident that the market is going to be pretty volatile for Nvidia on Wednesday. Buy more time. Go for next Friday. Expiry contracts. For me, I use a very simple rule of thumb. Okay, that on Mondays and Tuesdays, I will take contracts which expire Friday of the same week. Wednesday can be on both sides. Okay, if I'm very confident about the trade, I'll still go with Friday expiry. If I'm not that confident, I will go with next Friday expiry. And Thursday and Friday, inevitably, I will move to the next Friday expiry. I rarely do zero DTAs, even though Tesla was a great play on last Friday, but that is something that I'm not going to repeat very often. Okay, just because one thing worked once, you don't deviate from your principle. But have I managed to answer your question, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate
Okay.
it.
What's your view on IWM? Can I have your view?
Honestly, Moen, I don't have a view, but I would say that considering the bearishness of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Considering that you said it has no legs, no support,
Mm-hmm.
I would consider taking a position on it either Monday or Tuesday before Nvidia on the downside, right?
Mm-hmm. And
And
what
like you
does
said,
this tell
maybe
you?
just
The volume bar?
I see. Yeah, the volume is pretty high. Yeah, on the down
Very
on
high.
yeah,
Very high.
sellers are selling.
Yep.
Correct.
Very strong. Okay. This literally is a candle which shows you the sellers are in absolute control. Okay. This is
Control.
literally
Yeah.
like me having a fight with my wife. Okay. No chance, whatever I do, there is no chance I'm gonna win. So, in this situation, if you wanna avoid sleeping with the dog, which happens in my case sometimes, okay, so you basically just play with the trend. Don't try to fight it. The easiest way to lose money is thinking, oh, damn, this is so beaten down, right? It has to move. And you basically start taking trades of the support without waiting for confirmation. You are literally trying to catch a falling knife.
Hmm.
All right,
Perfect.
IWM is done. Let's move on to totally your calls. What charts you want me to bring up and review for the next week? Shoot. Marvel.
Applied Digital.
Sorry?
Applied Digital.
APLD, right?
APLD.
APLD. My chart on it looks pretty crap. No idea when I last drew it. Let's trash it.
Order filled.
Hmm. Can I ask in the meantime, what are your thoughts on APLD while I'm drawing the levels on this thing? Anyone?
I don't know if this is an all-time high, but it made like a high that was rejected,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like coming down to retest the
It's not all-time highs.
previous high.
Okay. What
Okay,
you
it's not
saw
all-time
is,
highs.
yeah,
Okay.
it's not all-time highs. Okay. But something is very interesting about this chart. Go on. What else? Tell me, madam. I liked your analysis where you are going.
O- Okay, so it broke a previous resistance, and
Uh-huh.
it's gone back to retest that resistance. If it holds, then it will probably continue to the next opportunity. I
Cup
really
and
can't see
handle.
this.
Okay, nice. I like your analysis. What pattern is this?
A cup and handle.
Up and
Cup
handle.
and handle.
My drawing should be better, right? My drawing is pretty crap. Aaron, please teach me how to draw properly. You're here, right? Oh, Aaron is not here. He's the artist amongst us. Okay, let me try to make a proper drawing. My drawing really sucks. Ah, now it looks better, right? Okay, so if I'm making a proper cup and handle, this should be a little bit high. Okay, that's on me. This should definitely be a little bit higher, right up to here. Let's move on to a 5-minute chart. Why does my chart look like this? Oh, okay, I drew way beyond. What happened? Okay, so if I'm drawing a cup and handle right over here, this is basically your handle point. Okay, we broke through.
Mm-hmm.
Look at a much more shorter time frame. After we broke through, this level was there, which was basically the level for your breakout. Okay, 1130s, 1125. After you broke through, look at a smaller time frame chart. What happened? And what does it tell you? You broke through very well with volume, no doubt. Retested this, went back up. But when you went back up, you are constantly making high,
Maybe
lower
lower
high,
high.
lower high.
The lower high.
Yeah, okay? You are constantly making a lower high, lower high, lower high. All the way down, you basically were in a downtrend. Okay. However, at the tail end of the day, using the 200 EMA on the 5 as a lifeline support, again, the 200 EMA is always like a lifeline. Okay. You are trying to make somewhat of a recovery right over here. Now, if I see that this level, the $10.50 to $10.75, is holding out, this is invalidated because I literally broke above and I'm using this support and the 200 EMA to bounce. So I won't be looking at this guy anymore. It doesn't hold any value anymore. On a 15, let's look at what's happening in the short term. You are trying to consolidate at the end of the day, trying to give a recovery. Don't ever be swayed by these candles which happen at the last moment in after hours, especially on a Friday. Literally doesn't take any volume for this to happen. So coming back to the daily, if I look at my classic example of the cup and handle, for any next upside, if you're a breakout trader, this is the key level you should be looking at. If this level breaks,
Order filled.
you are good to go. But if that level does not break, then be very careful. Okay, to the upside. To the downside, If you start coming down here, be careful again. Okay, the $10 level is your critical number right now. And most probably this is gonna test 10 before it plans to make a leg up. Any idea why? Why do you think I think that?
Because of the shooting star?
Cyclical.
Mm-hmm. That's a very nice thing. Whoever said this. This candle, what does it tell you? Who's in control? The buyer or the seller?
Sellers.
SLS.
Very heavy profit taking, right? Extremely heavy
Yeah.
profit taking right over here. Okay, that we faked out, broke above, heavy profit taking, almost got it beaten down. If you look at it, probably like this area is what? Where we closed is 20% of the whole move that managed to sustain. It's a very, very heavy flush. What would your view be when you see such a heavy flush? Do you feel the confidence in the trade or no?
No, I'm looking.
Trade.
Go one by one, please. Yeah. Ladies first as usual. So, madams, you two go ahead. Okay. And then we'll hear the gentleman.
I would be looking for a trend change.
Mm-hmm. Can happen. But nothing is telling you to buy puts on this or to short this stock till now. Nothing is giving you
No,
that.
no.
Where will I get that confirmation? Till now, this is very bullish. Okay, this can be a healthy retracement as well. I would like to see a retest of this level. If this level and more obviously the $10 holds, I'll be very comfortable going through this. Okay, going on the long side. If 10 gives away, this is a nice $1 to $1.50 trade because if 10 gives away, you have your 9 EMA and you have the 950s. Very high chances this guy's coming back here. Okay, so you have it on both sides here. But the bias is more towards the upside. Let it come down to $10 because the profit taking has been done. And then you look into getting back in. And if you look at your oscillators are high. They're not yet coming down, which tells you like the momentum has not cooled. This just might be a temporary breather here. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. If you have a different viewpoint, please share with us. Okay, we need to make money everyone together. Okay, don't be just trying to make money by yourself. Think of us all as brothers and sisters. We need to get rich all quickly. Okay, not quickly, but together. Okay, so that's APLD. Next, who asked about APLD? Can I have your viewpoint as well? How you are looking at APLD?
I was looking at it,
Tell me, bro, what were you
playing it
looking at?
I was playing neutral, being that it's tied to Nvidia.
Mm-hmm.
Nvidia has earnings on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of playing it neutral with the levels as going puts or versus going calls.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but the thing is, like, these are completely two different stocks, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So treat it differently. Nvidia will definitely have an influence over here, but we need to remember like this is a separate ball game by itself. Okay. The other one, if you're planning to do this, look at it. I sometimes take nice trades of it whenever Nvidia has something on it.
Order
Is this guy
filled.
right here? You familiar with this one? They regularly put out peers based on Nvidia related stuff. Okay, and can offer
I'm not familiar with that one.
okay, and can put up like pretty decent runs. Okay, it always fades, classic behavior of a penny stock. Okay, but can give you pretty nice runs. Okay, so keep an eye on this
Okay.
one as well. But I like your mindset
Okay.
that you
Thanks.
have a subset that you already identified based on that. Okay, Can I request you one more thing, brother? Everyone else, whenever you have this type of things in mind, share your ideas in the general rooms or in the
Order filled.
relevant forums, so all of us can basically learn as well how to do this. Make sense?
Yes, sounds good.
Thank you, bro. Okay, keep
One,
eye on Beamer as well. If Nvidia runs, this guy is also gonna try to run. What was that?
Okay, I was having a hard time seeing your screen, so I was just trying to figure out what ticker symbol you guys were talking about, but I see it now.
Okay,
BMR.
yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
It's a nice guy, basically. Every time Nvidia runs, this guy tries to make a run. Okay.
Do they run in the same direction? Does it run in the same direction with NVIDIA?
It's basically a sympathy.
Okay.
Okay. And then most of the time, because it's a penny stock, okay, it cannot let go of its like DNA. It basically dumps pretty heavy afterwards. All right. Next is
Could you check
Marvel.
Uber?
Sure. Christian, who is your favorite superhero?
That's a good question.
And if you trade Marvel, you have to pick your superhero. What are you saying? My son will kill
Probably,
you. Yeah.
probably Spider-Man.
Okay. Me too. I like the guy. My son is a huge fan of Iron Man. Is this an all-time high on Marvel or no? Yeah, it's an all-time high most likely. Hmm. How far have you filled the gap? Almost.
The gap
Almost.
up or gap down?
Hmm. Almost, but you still have space. You haven't you haven't wiped away all the liquidity right up there. And they have earnings, yeah, in 2 weeks. Okay. Most probably you are gonna test that $100 mark again. Okay. Most likely. Along with the main mothership flushing, which is basically SPY and QQQ. Okay. If the mother load flushes, just think of it always like an ocean. If the ocean is very violent, all the ships in the ocean are gonna rock to some or other extent. Okay. So that's why you need to keep an eye on your indexes whenever you trade. Like, what's the underlying behavior of the entire index, where this thing belongs. Now, with this happening, you broke below your 103.81 support, which you had. Now, with that breaking, your next psychological number is coming 100. Most probably, you will flush a little bit under that because the market makers also know that most of our stop losses, whoever went long, was somewhere just a bit below 100, somewhere around this area, or if you have a larger risk appetite, right over this area. We should be seeing a reversal somewhere between just below 100 to these areas. I would rather look for that. It looks like a nice play, but not take anything in anticipation. Because if this gives away, there is only one level where you can go. Christian, where's that level, brother?
It's probably going to be at that 90, 200 EMA.
Exactly. Nothing literally to hold. You have another one here, which is 95-ish. That would be the first one you're gonna test. Okay, but most probably with a downtrend like this, after you grabbed all the liquidity, this is here. Okay, but chances are very high you might bounce right from here to the downside. Okay, sorry, for the upside. This is one area. The other part is that this week, tomorrow, most probably on most stocks, we will see a slight uptrend or like a dead cat bounce. Are you guys familiar what's a dead cat bounce? Anyone wants to explain?
No, sir.
Anyone
Not
wants
familiar.
to take a dig what a dead cat bounce is?
It's when a stock goes down really sharply or violently, and then it makes a small bounce from that lowest point. Usually less than 30% or 33%, right?
I
It's a
wouldn't
fake out.
say a percentage to it, Rene. I wouldn't put a percentage to it, but the concept is absolutely right. Because when something goes down very heavy, a lot of people think like they found value there. Okay, they think like they're buying it at a bargain. That basically creates demand. When you have demand, price automatically pushes up. Make sense? Okay,
Yeah.
that's your dead cat bounce. But most of the time, the dead cat bounces fade equally quick in a day or two because the market maker's ultimate objective was to bring it down. In the meantime, if he can trap some more longs, of course he will take it. Okay, that guy has only one objective, which is basically to kill us. Okay, so if he can get down things a little bit more, he will definitely do that because that's his ultimate objective. Probably Monday on most of the stuff, including SPY and QQQ, we should be seeing some recovery. So wait for it, wait for this thing to get a little bit up, 105-ish, a little bit higher, probably 106 to 107. If it rejects from here, go for it. 100 is the mark. Does it make sense, Christian, for you?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome, bro. And for the upside, if you see this level is holding up, go for it. You have a short contrarian trade over here, okay, to take. And if your contrarian trade works out, make your stops pretty tight on the way up because it might reject right around this area and start coming back again. That's there. Next is HIMS and Uber. I must have traded HIMS long time ago when it was really, really down. Before I even start drawing levels, what does this chart tell you?
Looks like it already peaked and it's pulling back.
It's coming back pretty heavy. You literally lost 1/3 of value in less than 2 weeks' time. The pump is done. And you have a very small area here, a super small gap right up to here, where there is some minor liquidity. This type of gap fills, I don't really consider it a gap fill because it's so small. There's no significant liquidity here. Okay, but rather I will use this level from where it may bounce because two reasons. It came below 50. That literally broke a lot of people's heart, okay, mind that this is below. From a small cap, this guy became a mid cap. From a mid cap, this guy tried to become a large cap. And from large cap, it is flushing down. And the main thing that you have over here is your earnings is right tomorrow. You don't definitely want to keep holding a position into it, into earnings. Best option is tomorrow. If you're planning to trade this tomorrow, Juan, don't even touch it, brother. Literally, you are playing with fire over here if you're planning to touch it tomorrow, unless you're very sure what you're doing and you're planning to close your trades in a very short span of time. But overall, this is very beaten down. Okay, I wouldn't dare touch it, especially after the last candle. Okay, it's a clear shooting star supported with a significant volume and going into earnings. Does that match with you, bro? What you were thinking? Or did I go totally opposite? All right. If it does, I'm happy that you are seeing things by yourself. Opposite? What was your view? Get on the mic. I want to hear it.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've just been seeing comments that Hims was like doing really good, but I haven't had the chance to fully look at the graphs. And then I saw that it had earnings coming up, and then but I did see that it fell down a good amount. But I had a I was willing to gamble it and probably do like a call for like 2 weeks. But what you told me, it makes more sense.
Who wants to get the belt for this guy? Anyone volunteers? Eric, you want to do it for me?
From what I heard, they're able to produce, I think it's a weight loss pill or something when the actual manufacturer is out of stock or something, and apparently they are back in stock, so they have to stop producing it, and that's when it fell.
This is a pure pump, bro. The pump is done. Whatever they wanted to milk out of this stock, that is done. Okay, the juice is done from here. Okay, so here, if you look at it, okay, the profit taking has started very heavily. Whatever shorting needed to be done, that is done. Whatever distribution needed to be done, that is done on this thing. Okay, if you look at the weekly chart on this thing, this was a penny stock not so long back, just about 2 or 3 years back. Okay, from there, it moved into the $10 mark area. Okay, now basically this is shooting down pretty heavily, and look at a weekly chart, it's even worse. Okay, you have a weekly shooting star. In no way this is giving me any confidence to the upside. And if you look at like how much market cap they lost in a single week, you went from roughly 73 to 49. That's $24, right? You literally lost 1/3 of your market cap in less than a week. That is very alarming. Okay. Now, Eric, do me a favor. Get the belt to my friend Juan because he's a bad guy. He wants to gamble. We don't have place for gamblers. Okay. We want traders, Juan. We want to make you a trader, not a gambler. Okay. If you have a mindset like that, bro, go to the casino. I'm being very blunt with you. All right. Next comes, what else do we have? Uber. Very bullish chart. Tell me why. Anyone?
A lot of volume on the uptrend
Correct. And
with
a little bit
with a
more.
little
A
healthy
little bit more.
pullback on.
Elaborate a little bit more.
The
Talk on the
oscillators
volume
are up.
part.
Looks like
You are almost
looks
there.
like it's ranging
No, I
to
want you to
me.
talk on the volume part. A lot of volume on the upside, and then what?
And then the closing counter for Friday, it was just the volume was small, so it was a healthy pullback.
That's a healthy pullback. Exactly. That's exactly what we needed to see here. Okay. That you had a pullback, you are having a bit of tough time breaking over 80s properly. Okay. But your hope is not lost because when you bounced right off your 9 EMA right here. So this again tells you that the buyers have not lost confidence. Your RSI, StotSticks, or whatever oscillator you use is telling you that the trend is very strong yet. Okay, It is overbought, who cares? Doesn't matter. It can stay up, okay, and still keep on going up. But it needed to cool down a little bit. If this area basically holds, go for it. Okay, have no fear. And this thing is, let's look at the chart. If this area holds, you're definitely gonna come back and retest your all-time highs. This is the effect of what happened to Friday for everybody, not only for this guy. But what I would really look to say, if this area holds, I would again like to go for calls. A slightly longer term calls with the target of reaching this. Because if you somehow manage to make a support over here, I would trade this with more confirmation. You can either basically look
Order
into
filled.
here from here, or what you can do is you can literally look into getting back right over there. It's totally your decision, which one you feel more comfortable. For me, I would be more comfortable taking the trade a little bit late with more confirmation right around that 8162 area when that becomes a support. But that's me as a trader. I trade with confirmation. I let go of profit a bit. I don't mind. Okay, but
Order
I want
filled.
that. But give me 1 second. Let me just take money. Sorry, guys. I have to make money from the market. Okay, not from YouTube. So sometimes you have to excuse me when I trade. I would rather like to honestly take the trade if this area, we start closing above this area. I really want to make a trade on this. Okay, I'll be putting a note for myself now and setting an alert here. Does it make sense, Chibuzo, with your viewpoint? Or we are totally on different world again? Do you want to gamble like one?
So Mohan, can you repeat where would you want to see it bounce back from?
This is an area where it should hold.
Yep.
That would give you very good
Yep.
confidence that this guy is here to stay. Okay. But the real trade that I would love to take is like once basically it starts coming back, reclaims this level properly and makes this a support, this is where I really want to get into calls.
Order filled.
This is a much, much more assured trade that you are taking to the upside. Because if that happens, this is going to be taken out for sure.
Gotcha.
And being so close, if this gets taken out in the long term, you're looking at 100. I have a theory of trading penny stocks. Let me tell you that. Okay. These work for me pretty much 95% of the time. If something I say is moving up and is at 90 cents, okay, let it be 90 cents, let it be $1.90, let it be $2.90. I literally close my eye, okay, and buy 1,000 shares and set the sell profit taker at the round dollar number. It's a human psychology. When you are at that level, the market maker will push it up there to give people the confidence that this thing has legs, and immediately afterwards you will see a sell-off. I just want to catch that tiny micro movement because 1,000 share, 10 cents is like $100. Pretty easy money to, and this literally happens in minutes. Think of the same thing turned for Uber, okay? Divided by the same concept, divided by 100. Where you are, a little bit over here is gonna be 80 cents. A little bit over here, if you come over here, you're literally reaching that 90-cent mark or $90. The next round number, just because like a penny stocks move from 90 cents to $1 for a large cap, this is just 100x from 90 to $100.
Hmm.
Okay, if this ever moves to this place, makes a leg, keep a note of it. Remind me if my theory worked or did not work.
So you do a call expiring Friday?
On this,
Mm-hmm.
if this holds, probably I wouldn't mind if I was trading it. Thank you. But this is my long-term objective. I'm gonna see a reclaim over here. If this does, I will take a way longer call actually, because it's gonna take time to go to over 100, right? I'll give it at least 2 months or something like that to take that call. A more longer term play. Good thing is earnings is behind, and your earnings were very positive. Okay, until the next one, you have significant time. Nothing bad is gonna kill you immediately. Make sense, bro?
Okay.
All right. Any last minute questions before I run away? If not, let's call it a night. Okay, tomorrow is the start of a new week. Safe trading, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.